Hello guys, it's iBiohazzard with one more video, and this is I Am Alive. It's a review slash my experience and tips in order to help you play this game easier. And actually I'm gonna be uploading from time to time reviews from different games, and it will be divided in three parts. One will be experience, tips, and of course storyline, plot, or whatever, call it however you want. And let's continue with the first part. Before starting with the plot, I would like to mention developers: Darkworks 2003 to 2008 and Ubisoft Shanghai 2008 to 2011, and publisher is Ubisoft. It has been released on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 and PC. It was released on March 7, 2012 for Xbox, and April 4, 3 and 4 for PlayStation 3, and it was released September 6, 2012 for Microsoft Windows PC. Its genre is survival horror, but I will disagree that it's horror. It's not that scary, but okay. And let's continue with the plot. I actually have written down most of the parts because it's a pretty big plot, and I wanted to include everything from the beginning to the end, unless you don't like that I say whole plot that happens everything during the game, and I will talk about the beginning only, but for this review I will say whole plot for whole game, and if you don't like it, let me know it. And let's continue. The game takes place 1 year after America has gone through a massive disaster known simply as the event, which included earthquakes that destroyed most cities and areas. Due to the damage of the aftermath, many people are forced to go without resources. The government tries to help citizens, but their attempts are useless. Supplies become low, and this causes citizens to become agitated, violent, and bitter. A male survivor, and by the way, his name isn't named at all during the game, travels to his old home of the fictional city of Haventon to rescue his wife Julie and daughter Mary. When he gets to his old apartment though, he finds they have left to get to safety, and meanwhile videotapes his apology for not being there and says that he will do everything to find them. As he is leaving, the protagonist sees a small girl who he mistakes for his daughter and saves her from 3 hostile men. The girl May is missing her mother and gives the protagonist a walkie-talkie with which he talks to Henry, a friend of May. Henry asks him to bring May to him, and he agrees. The protagonist and May travel out to Henry's apartment, but soon stop in a dilapidated mall to rest during a dust storm. The protagonist notices that May has a fever, so he goes to find a supply drop that the government landed for survivors, and is able to recover medicine for May. Then they both leave the next day and arrive at Henry's place, where the protagonist finds out that Henry is disabled and cannot walk. The protagonist is then asked to find a radio for Henry, and travels through the deadly dust clouds and makes it to an old boat. After searching the boat and finding the radio, the protagonist makes it makes it off and travels back to Henry. The protagonist makes it back, and Henry thanks him and finally trusts him as a friend. Henry also suspects that May's mother might be in a local hotel and pressures the protagonist into fighting her for May. He gets to the hotel and fights through a large number of killers who have kidnapped, intimidated and hurt women to pressure them into performing sexual acts on the men. The protagonist finds May's mother, Linda, and rescues her from the men. They both get back to Henry's place and reunites with her mother. Linda is able to use the radio to get messages from a boat coming to Haventon to pick up survivors. This seems as their way out, but they soon learn that the boat is not coming to shore because of the dust. Henry makes the plan of creating a beacon, or I think that's how it's called, yep, to bring in the boat by using fireworks. The protagonist takes some of Henry's fireworks and sets them off on a nearby rooftop, successfully making a beacon for the boat. Just after they set it up through foe, hunters attack and the protagonist is forced to fight them off, but Henry is nowhere to be found after. The protagonist learns from helping an injured man that Henry was taken by the hunters, who they were hunting for. Due to his knowledge of where the camps holding survivors are, finally the beacon attracts the boat and it arrives at the dock just in time. In the end, May and Linda go aboard the boat, but the protagonist decides to stay, hoping to find Henry and his family. May and Linda bid him farewell and he records his last tape and says that he will find Julie and Barry and try to rescue Henry. Before he's shown that a woman, presumably Julie, has been watching all his videos and currently has all his gear and his corpse. She cries after the video ends and it is left on a cliffhanger whether or not Henry is survived. Or has survived, yeah. And pretty much that's whole plot of the game. There's nothing that I haven't included. It's from the beginning to the very end. And let's continue with the next part. I have actually enjoyed this game. It's really enjoying by the first 40 to 50% of the game, about the middle, because after some time it gets boring because you are climbing all the time and you have to take care of your stamina because you run out pretty fast and you have to eat food and that kind of stuff to get back some of your stamina while you're climbing. And it gets boring because it's all the time just climbing, finding food, finding survivors and that kind of stuff, and it gets boring after some time because it's like repeatedly same things. At least I got bored, even though I enjoy survival games. I guess some of you guys might enjoy it, not get bored as I did, and hope you do not get bored of it. And actually sorry for that. And actually what I want to say, let me think a second. And actually I think if it's like on sale, it's under 20 euros. I think this game you should buy it and try it out because you will get like 6 to 8 hours of nice gameplay. You will have fun for 6 to 8 hours. That's for sure, because that's how much time it took me to get bored of this game. After that I had more games more interesting than that, and I just let it off. I think I reached like 60 to 65% of the game progress, and after that I gave up. And I actually think I just played as more as I could and searched around for food, and I actually played like in 2 days. 6 to 8 hours, and that's all. I didn't want to play more. I tried like after 2 months playing again, and it wasn't enjoying anymore. And yeah, that's all. And let's continue with the last part.
Don't kill me. No. Don't.
The game itself is pretty easy. You will not need that much tips because it won't be that hard to play it. But pretty much all you will need to do is watch around for food and retries, and because you will need food for stamina to regain stamina while you're climbing, or either if you run out of stamina you're gonna fall down and die. You will also need food to get back your health if you get if somebody attacks you and you get hurt. You will need health, or rather you will die. And also you need the retries, because if you fail in a part of the game you will need that retry to try from the last checkpoint. I actually don't know what happens if you run out of retries, if you start from the beginning or something. Hope that is not happening, but I never run out of retries because I was helping all the time survivors. That gets you also retries if you help survivors. And what else? And you should be actually careful with the use of your handgun. Actually, if you aim at an enemy, he actually thinks you got a bullet. He can't know if you don't have, and he's scared, and he just won't attack you. And if you get attacked by more than one guy at the same time, you should actually kill the rest and knife the last guy. And if there are guys with handguns, you should actually shoot them first, because if they shoot you, you will lose a lot of health. And what else? You actually pick up bullets from the guys with handguns. And yep. I also, whenever a lot of people come to your are going to attack you, you should actually wait a couple seconds so they approach you and get as close as possible to you, and you will be able to quick knife or knife surprise or something like that, because you actually kill very fast the first guy, and you should pull out your handgun after that and start shooting the people with handguns. And what else? Pretty much that's all. The rest things are gonna be told to you by the game itself. It got tutorials all the time, tips all the time, and you will not need that much things to find out yourself. All you need is to play as just as you would have played a survival game. Search around for resources, and that's all. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, a comment, and whatever you didn't like, I'm trying my best to make this enjoying, and it takes a lot of effort. And yeah, pretty much that's all. Hope you enjoyed, and goodbye. See ya.
Taken to one of the emergency shelters. It's very hard to get precise information about the evacuation plan. I have no idea where we'll be in the next hour. If only you were here, I would tell you that I forgive you. For everything. For now, all we can do is pray that you're alive. And if you are, I know you'll come back here. We'll try to stay in Haventon, but we'll go wherever's safest. With Mary, I can't take any risks. We love you. Not a moment goes by that we're not thinking about you. Try to find